Welcome back, Square Go Podcast. Sandy's telling me how to do my job. Our usual hosts, Sandy aka Yidders, filmmaker, Ian Money Corden, filmmakers in the house, and back with a great pleasure I have Spencer Collings, back once again with the Renegade Stunt Master.
Welcome back.
Yeah. If you missed the previous episode where Spence was talking about his career, he's licensed to kick your ass. I'll just read that, what's on screen. Stunt coordinator, writer, action actor, military advisor. Yeah. And he's worked with stars like Guy Pearce, Rami Malek, Lawrence Fishburne, and even killed Shane Ward on screen.
Really?
Indeed.
Get on you.
Indeed. He's a lovely guy.
Cool. So on today's episode, we are doing our top 3 one-man army movies. So someone else want to speak up a little bit, just because my cans are cutting in and out and I'm fiddling with them under the desk.
Okay, well you can fiddle with yourself under the desk. I suggested this because I watched a movie the other day which is going to find its way into my top 3. But the more I thought about it, I was talking to Spence before we were rolling. There's almost like a rule set that follows these movies that they all seem to fit. And I never kind of realised this before. I've watched hundreds of these movies, and then you start to realise they're all following the same formula. You know, especially when it comes to my list, I've tried to look for things that are a little bit fresh with the formula. So we've all seen it before, ever since the days of Death Wish and stuff like that, but that might be on someone's list. But I think that especially the modern day ones, they're twisting it up by putting old people in the mix and stuff like that. So we'll talk more about those, and we've got some honourable mentions as well.
You've got to represent, you know?
Yeah. Yes, you do. Yep, yeah. So,
cool.
How's fiddling going?
Yeah, I'm good at fiddling under the desk, believe it or not. Should we talk about films and stuff?
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. All right, so we'll just go right in it. Do you want to start off, and then we'll go through our top 3?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at my phone as I always do with these.
As he's looking at his phone, we're also going to be doing honourable mentions and always a clunker, an absolute stinker of a film that's
Yeah, I'd see. This is where you're going to have to challenge me. I was saying this to you as well. You're going to have to challenge me to see if you can think of a one-man army film that I don't like, because I pretty much love them all.
I was just thinking that myself.
But my number 3 is probably a controversial one because it's got Gerard Butler in it, and it's Law Abiding Citizen. Have you seen that?
I've never watched it, but
Good film.
I've heard it's really good. Everybody has said that.
It's good. So it's Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. And the reason I think it's slightly unusual for so it follows all the formula in that this is a guy that nobody suspects is the badass that he is, and some sort of randoms kind of come in contact with him, and it kind of goes through all those motions. But the reason it's slightly different from other one-man army movies is it's really about kind of him against Jamie Foxx. So it's almost like a one-man army against Jamie Foxx. And it's different for other reasons that I'm not going to spoil. But I think it's a good movie.
Take notes, Andy.
Very gory movie as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But it kind of, and it's under the radar as well, because it sort of starts as a bit of a generic Gerard Butler film, and you sort of think there's going to be some generic action scenes and stuff, and then it starts to twist a bit.
Does he Sparta kick someone down a giant hole of death?
No, I don't think he does that.
Come, let us walk next to the giant pit of death.
But what's good is that it's one of those movies where he just has an implausible kind of skill set where he can do fucking anything. You know what I mean?
What accent has he got in the film, though?
He's got his Gerard Butler accent, which is a sort of like quasi Scottish American kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
So not that
but it's a good movie.
Hideous attempt at an Irish accent that he did in that film. Was it
P.S. I Love You?
It's embarrassing.
I love that movie.
That's totally on my chick flick list.
Spoiler alert for the future. We've got
Yeah, we've got something in the pipeline where we're going to be drinking cocktails and talking about chick flicks in our bathies.
Right, moving on to my number 3 spot. It was shared, but I'll leave one of them for the honourable mentions. I'm going for Hard Boiled by John Woo.
Oh, nice.
It's not my favourite John Woo movie. the killer is, but the fact that this is a one-man army, and Tequila, played by Chow Yun-fat, just absolutely decimates, well, most of China, really.
Is it Hard Boiled, the one where he's holding the baby?
He's got the baby, yeah. He's like, just shotgun in one hand and the baby the other. I'm sure there's a bit, does he not change the baby's nappy, and he's like safety pins and he's gobbing everything.
There's a scene like that with Jason Statham in, I'm sure it's a Fast and Furious movie, I think.
Right.
I'm sure. I don't know. Maybe I just dreamt that. But yeah, good choice.
Yeah, John Woo, obviously, you've got all these slow motion, the king of action, in my opinion. I'd like to think I ripped him off, and terribly, probably.
Couldn't get a dove handler, though.
No, not for this one, but we did put a CGI dove, remember, in that music video.
That's right, yeah. Shout out Big Iron.
Big Iron, yeah. Not wearing one of their t-shirts.
I almost put one on.
Almost.
But I wasn't sure that one of you guys wouldn't be wearing
I wore one in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Cool. What more could I say about Hard Boiled? You guys seen Hard Boiled?
Never seen it.
No, it's like, what, 89, I think, maybe late 80s Chinese action movie, and it is just insane over-the-top action.
Yeah.
And there's a really good one take in the hospital, actually. Most of the film's set in a hospital, but there's this brilliant one take, and it's just the amount of just shrapnel flying around the place, just like shooting stuff, and obviously it's like squibs just exploding everywhere, and there's always slow motion bits, and it's just
I think it was the movie that got John Woo to Hollywood, wasn't it? Because after that he did Broken Arrow, and I think it was almost immediately after Hard Boiled.
I think that was his big film. I've actually got a VHS box set with it, with a t-shirt, actually.
Nice.
OG. But yeah, The Killer is one of my favourites by his. Which,
I haven't seen that.
For me, that is his best. I mean, I do like Face Off.
Is it? I think it's before Hard Boiled. Then.
Yeah, it's before. So I think it's a bit more raw, and I think the action's a bit better, rather than with Hard Boiled. It's just
it's OTT.
It's insane and just non-stop. So
Face Off is kind of more like Hard Boiled, I think, in terms of in those terms of it just being out of control.
Yeah. Face Off is awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, should we keep this pretty brief and move on,
Cool,
Spence?
so my number 3 choice is Leon.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Leon. I've watched that fucking at least 30 times. And I think they should do a spin-off, or they should do a sequel, prequel.
Yeah, well, with Natalie Portman, or
100% if they're doing a sequel. Yeah, it's like she's just like taking the torch and carrying on with the.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be good.
I think it's. I've got a T-shirt at home with them on, with the holding the plant in the street.
Cool.
But the scenes in that are just immense. It's like when the police are coming up the stairwell, and he's in the room, and then he sort of lowers himself down, pops himself back up again, and then you've got the detective who's played by
Gary Oldman.
Yeah. That character in itself is just fucking.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's fucking brilliant. Well, he's brilliant in any character he plays. He's played Beethoven, Dracula, Churchill. Yeah. It's just all the characters he plays. But Leon is my number 3.
Yeah.
And I would say, if anyone that hasn't watched it, do watch it. And I guarantee you'll watch it again.
Yeah,
it's an amazing film.
I've not seen the director's cut, but I'd like to. I'm going to put out there, don't watch the director's cut. I've not seen it, but just from what I've heard, it insinuates that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's insinuated kind of anyway.
It's kind of
It sort of goes down that road a little bit, doesn't it? If you sort of follow the sequence of the story.
I think that was Luc Besson's sort of that was in his head, and I think he was the studio quite rightly kind of said you can't really. No one's gonna have any sympathy for your character if you.
The death scene at the end. When he comes in and he's just laying there.
Yeah, my favorite moment in that film is Gary Oldman when he says, "Get me everyone," and the guy's like, "What do you mean everyone?"
Everyone.
But then there's a tie-in with another Luc Besson film. He'd made La Femme Nikita about the female hit person, and I'm sure is it Jean Reno? He's in that, I think, as
same character.
The same character, Like I think when she's first starting out. She kills someone but doesn't know how to dispose of the body, and he comes up as a cleaner. I think he has to pour acid on her in the bath, and then discovers she's not dead and she's flapping about. It's a brilliant scene. That's a really good film.
It's a great film, and it was remade. It was an American remake, wasn't it? The Assassin. Bridget Fonda?
Bridget Fonda, yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, you should watch Nikita. Cool. Good choice. I love that film. Yeah.
I'm going to go slightly off genre. You were about to pass over to me. Yeah?
Yes, I was.
P.S. I love you.
It's an Edgar Wright. It's Hot Fuzz.
Oh, okay.
That kind of works, yeah.
Yeah, because he's a one-man army.
It's a two-man army. It's a buddy movie, but, I'll give you that.
Yeah. I watched it again last night for about the 50th time I've seen it.
Same with jugglers.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Shaun of the Dead.
When I first saw Hot Fuzz, I was disappointed with it. I was expecting more, but like it's one of these ones. The more I've watched, the more I've liked it and noticed there's like
I was the same. I was slightly
bits.
disappointed with it up until the third act, and then I was like, because that's what I wanted the whole movie to be.
It's just references. The whole thing is just references. Homages. It's amazing. But Edgar Wright as an editor, he's someone else. Like his transitions,
the rapid cuts
off
and stuff.
The hook, and camera movement and all that.
That's another one with the plant, because I remember they give him the plant, or he takes the plant out of his office at the beginning, and then there's all these like sliding shots of him on the train with the plant and stuff, carrying this, and then the next shot is him checking into the hotel with the plant in his hand. Really good.
And that's part of the Cornetto trilogy, is that right? So what? I don't even know what that is. Never mind the viewers at home. You probably all do, and it's just me being a dumbass.
Hangover cure.
What?
Yeah, apparently it's Edgar Wright's hangover cure is a Cornetto.
I didn't know that. But in Shaun of the Dead, in Shaun of the Dead, he says, I'm going to the shop, do you want anything? And Nick Frost, just from nowhere, just goes, Cornetto.
Yeah.
And then he rocks up with a Cornetto. And then the reference, I think, in Hot Fuzz is they're just sitting eating Cornettos. Or does he go in the shop and buy one?
No, it's Hot Fuzz where he does that.
Is it?
Oh no, it's Shaun of the Dead.
It's Shaun of the Dead.
I watched them both this week.
Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and then
World's End.
World's End, the third one.
Right. That's really good. I really like World's End as well, actually.
It's quite a layered movie. Like
it got panned quite a bit, but I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, what a fucking central cast of characters. The actors in that are phenomenal. And
Paddy Considine.
Yeah. It's just
so good at everything, and even comedy.
Yeah.
He's so funny. And him and Ralph Spall, they're tremendous as the two detectives. Like, so
and
funny.
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
The two guys. No, what are they called again? Can't remember.
Two Andrews or something.
Two Andys.
Two Andys.
Yeah, it's the one where he goes out of frame twice. Nice, good movie.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Cool, right. So,
all right,
you want to move on to your number two?
Number two, let me refresh my memory. So this is the movie I watched the other day. It's called Monkey Man. And with Dev Patel. And, I mean, the stunts and the fight choreography are phenomenal. There's lots of one-ers, lots of single takes, and lots of, like, the really rapid kind of, like, people going through windows and... it's all kicking off. But the reason, like I said, that I was trying to form a list of just slightly more unusual kind of one-man army films, and it's all set in India, and the setting is like a huge part of it. But it's just it's like a sort of film like you've never seen. It's the kind of film that feels like a sort of grimy indie film. But then when you see the action scenes, you see how well put together they are. You're like, no, this has got some budget and some amount of thought. It's weird because there's not a huge amount of story. There's not a huge amount of plot. It's like Taken and stuff like that. It's just a kind of, you just become compelled by this character and is just forward momentum. He's just charging through on a kind of revenge mission.
Seems to be a lot of movies like that now. It seems like, I'd like to think action is back. It's popular again. I don't know if it's been since John Wick, which would be an honourable mention. Then you've had Extraction, and there's that other recent one. Is it Boy Destroys World?
I know the one you mean. I watched that recently.
The Skarsgård one.
The guy who plays the crow. He's playing the crow.
The Skarsgård. Yeah. It was pretty good.
Boy Kills World.
I think that was it. Yeah, that had some really good bits in it.
It's got some dark comedy in it. It's got some really dark stuff. Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
I'd watch it again. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a big thing for me.
Would you say there's been a period since the 80s where action hasn't been?
Yeah, well, there was because when you had physical media and you had DVDs and stuff like that, there was this slot that a film could operate in where you could it could be made for like $6 million or something like that, and so it wasn't a blockbuster and it wasn't a low budget indie film, but it would still make the money back on physical media, and that's why you had tons of these kind of, they're not low budget but almost generic action movies, and there was a whole industry of them, and then they seemed to go away for a while because you had the blockbusters that were spending hundreds of million, and then you had at the other end of the scale the low budget indie films. But I think with streaming, they've started to spend a bit more, like the Axel F, Beverly Hills Cop, and
awful.
But
awful.
It fits that category of.
I second that.
Fits that category of like chuck a few million quid at that mid-level action film. Like the original Beverly Hills Cop wouldn't have existed probably. Would today, but I think 10 years ago it wouldn't have existed because there was no place for movies of that kind of budget range and of that sort of, like, unless you were ridiculously high budget and blockbuster scale, or you were really low scale, I think you weren't getting anywhere. So I think they did die for a bit. I think they are making a comeback, and I think streaming is possibly helping.
Yeah, I mean, when I met John McTiernan, like, you could say he's responsible for the biggest of that sort of thing, and also the death of it. So him making Predator, was the sort of classic 80s muscle-bound hero and just like absolute machine gun carnage.
I thought you were going to say Die Hard as the...
But then Die Hard is what killed it.
Yeah.
1990, because you got John McClane, your everyman.
Yeah.
He's not your Lundgren, he's not your Stallone, you know what I mean? Like, and then from the 90s you had stuff similar, and that was it, It was kind of the nail in the coffin of these big muscle-bound, action movies.
Yeah, because I think they did try and cast Arnie in that sort of like
Richard Gere, it was going to be John McClane.
Oh, really?
Richard, yeah. That's what he told me.
I can't see anyone else playing that role.
Yeah.
Well, it was going to be, I can't remember if I talked about this before, it was, so the original John McClane was Frank Sinatra in a movie called
the character was
and The Detective, I think it was called. And it was because it's based off a series of books. I think it's Alistair McLean.
Yeah.
So the original one was him, but
in Nakatomi Plaza with a bunch of terrorists on Christmas Eve.
Exactly. He's going to sing Christmas songs. It'd be awesome. And shooting guys.
Danger.
Jesus. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Shit. So where were we?
We're over to you. So that Monkey Man was my number 2.
All right, cool.
I highly recommend.
Cool, because when I saw the trailer, actually, I was like, that's either going to be shit or really good. So.
I think it's good.
Cool.
I might be wrong.
My number 2, not that super duper amazing or that. I do like it, but I really fell in love with the movie when I watched the DVD extras in the making of. It is Crank 2.
Fucking hell.
Really? I was going to put that on my...
Your clunker list.
Clunker list. Yeah.
Man, like, okay, the making of behind, like...
That's the one where they're like riding in the street so he can keep his high going.
That's the first one, isn't it?
That might be the first one.
Well, they're all ridiculous.
Yeah. But that was the thing. So, like, spoiler alert, they kill him at the end of the first one.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
And then it became a sort of cult hit. If you watch the making of, it's actually brilliant. And the two guys that made it, because it was a sort of slow burner of success, the producer came to them and was like, we want you to make a second one. And they're like, well, we fucking killed him, how can we? And then they were like, they sort of said, all right, we'll take the money, and they went to go with it, and they were like, yeah, we'll just make it as ridiculous and stupid as possible. But then, like, halfway through writing it, they were like, actually, this is pretty good, and they fell in love with it, and then said, look, if anyone's going to make it, it's got to be us. But just like a lot of the making of and everything, just like you see them going into like hardware stores and buying little action cameras and setting up about 4 or 5 in a car, and then just smashing the car into something.
Right.
And it's the making of is just brilliant, and a lot like similar like what we had Liam cutting about on rollerblades, filming stuff. Like a lot of things like that, and just how sort of relentless and crazy and silly it is.
I'm not entirely sure I've even seen Crank High Voltage.
Well, have you seen the first one though?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people I like the first one. Because a lot of people just think, all right, it's like Jason Statham, no, and I agree. Like, I think he's in some humdingers, but I think Crank is totally different and well up there and good.
I think in my mind I blend that and the Transporter together.
Yeah, I'm not into Transporter. Yeah. Not into that.
But no, I think Crank's crap as well. I'm not backtracking. I'm not backtracking on it.
All right, fuck that. Right.
They're both crap. They're blending together.
Right.
I thought Crank was all right. I thought it was decent.
Okay.
Is that not the one where he shags the lassie on the football field?
That's right. It's a football field.
That's the second
one. Then is it?
I haven't seen it.
Do you know what? I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to get in trouble. Like, what else happens in that scene? Fuck. Right, yeah. Moving on. Spence, will go for your number 2.
Well, number 2, I don't know if this falls into it or not. Kill Bill Volume 1.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
On my honourable mentions list
I might as well say it. That was my number 1 as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Kill Bill Volume 1 because I like the director Quentin Tarantino. You know, his work is just fucking amazing. But the character itself and the final scene at the end, it's just like, whoa, what the fuck? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that went into that, and the character. It's good to have a female lead.
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm going to say. I was going to mention. Can we talk about one woman army movies?
Yeah.
That's why it was on my list. Just because it was a wee bit more unusual, but also brilliant. And I love the second volume too.
Oh, they're just it's just as good as the first.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it's been set up, and it just shows that you don't always have to have meat and veg leading the way. If you know what I mean. Yeah. In this, you just don't need to. You don't need to, do you? It's just like I think the character itself worked well, and I think the fight scenes in it were just fucking out of it because Quentin Tarantino's mind is just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And the stuff he puts in, the other films he's worked on, like Hurtful Eight and stuff like that. It's just crazy. But yeah, I'd say Kill Bill Volume 1. Yeah, that's my second choice.
Yeah.
Cool.
100%.
Can you guys think of any other one woman army ones?
Atomic Blonde.
All right, yeah,
that's good.
Aeon Flux.
I haven't seen that.
The one with
Ghost in the Shell.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one with the woman from Beetlejuice?
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder.
Gina Gershon. No, Gina. Fuck! I watched The Fly last night. Gina Davis.
Yes.
Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh, Long Kiss Goodnight. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
that's old school.
Alien.
I was going to say Aliens.
I was going to say that as well. Yeah. The second one.
Totally.
The second one.
Like. From what point? Like halfway through or something? Oh, come on! Like she goes in there with the pulse rifle and the flamethrower taped together and takes on all the aliens and stuff. Come on!
Oh, she's got the psychic, the army guys and stuff. Yeah, but it's just I was out with her in Spain recently. The lady who plays with the red bandana.
Who plays Vasquez?
Yeah, Vasquez. I was out there in Spain, and that character itself, it's just a motherfucking badass.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was leading the way for women who've got.
Jeanette Goldstein?
Yes. Yeah, you've got it, yeah. And that character itself, I think that overshone Sigourney Weaver's character.
Mm-hmm.
And the death scene was another good death scene as well.
Yeah, totally.
The line I think she said was, "You've always been a fucking arsehole," or something when she's in there with the guy.
Gorman,
I love the, hey, have you ever been mistaken for a man? Have you?
But the actor herself, the person who portrays that character, she's such a lovely lady as well.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's cool, yeah.
She's really down to earth, and you wouldn't have thought she would have played that character, so she nailed that character really well.
Yeah. And she was the stepmom in Terminator 2 as well.
She was.
Oh,
yeah. She was.
So my number 2.
Yeah.
Blade.
Oh yeah.
You stole mine.
I still watch it with my dad all the time. It was like part of my childhood growing up. Me, my dad and my brother would get together and watch it.
Sort of the cinema.
Reference it. I don't think I would have been old enough when it came out. And still reference it all the time. It's just amazing.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes was great, and then he kind of went off the deep end a bit, didn't he?
Oh, he went to jail for tax evasion.
Yeah.
Although he's in the new.
No,
he's in the new.
I'm not going to say. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah. He's in the new.
He's in something new.
As
yes.
Yeah.
A certain character.
He was in the new Coming to America, wasn't he? Which is so bad.
I didn't even bother with that, man.
Yeah, don't watch that film. Eddie Murphy's not killing it recently.
He looks good though.
What was the one? Dolomite. That was great.
Dolomite was awesome.
So good. And it flew under the radar.
See that, Spence?
I have.
It's a good movie.
I have seen that. That is actually good. Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, apart from that, anyway, back onto Wesley Snipes. Would you classify it as a one-arm? Probably.
Sort of.
Yeah, you're getting away with that, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just great.
Right. So, we know what your number one
so
spot is now.
Sorry, I don't want to. I'm going to mention it again on my comic book adaptation.
Right.
As well.
Okay.
It's probably one of my top comic book adaptations.
You love dropping spoilers, don't you?
Well, let's take some clunkers and honourable mentions before
Right.
we go to our number one spots. I'll start with a clunker. Under Siege.
That's on my that's on my list.
Is it? Yeah. Just because Seagal. Have you seen all the stuff with Seagal lately about how pretty much everything he says is lies?
Yeah.
Everything. He's like, oh, my mom was part Mongolese. It's like, no, my mom was like. There's like compilation clips of him where everything he says totally contradicts it, and like basically making out everything he's ever said and done is all bullshit
So
and
he wasn't in the
lies.
CIA.
None
He's
of it.
not like
Honest-
best friends with Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
That
I
is
think
true.
that
He
bit-
lives in Russia, doesn't
I
he?
think that much is true. Aye.
It's famous, and it comes up on a lot of people's lists for the like worst chemistry between a star and a co-star Under Siege when he they're like, show us a move, Casey. He's like, how about this? And he just kisses Erika Elniak, and yeah, like, it's just
Is that the one with the cake?
yeah.
Or is that Under Siege 2?
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, yeah. Under Siege 2, I think didn't. No, I'm thinking of Speed 2. I was about to say it didn't have Seagal in it, but I'm thinking of Speed 2, which also didn't have Steven Seagal in it.
Yeah. Anyone else got some clunkers? Crank?
Mine's were going to be mostly Jason Statham films, if I'm honest.
So the closest I've got. Sorry.
No, I was going to say there's one the actor Borat. He was in a film. It's like, what was it called? Where he's comes from the
Brothers Grimsby.
Brothers Grimsby.
Oh yeah,
That
what
is
is it?
awful.
I love that.
I thought it was bad.
Dire Straits.
That's really bad.
love
Dire
that.
Straits. Really bad.
Tonally,
Really fucking
tonally
bad.
all
What
over
did you
the
love
place.
about it?
Eh?
What did you love about it?
The rhino scene?
The spunk.
Oh, it's so grim.
Have you seen Freddy Got Fingered?
Yeah, it was.
I agree, though.
Yeah, I watched all of it, but then at the end of it, I thought, "Fucking hell, this dude, he's just on a one-way path, isn't he? It's just madness." And yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, I fucking hated it. It was
Yeah,
grim.
I wasn't a fan.
It was grim.
The closest I've got to a bad one, and I still love it, was Shoot 'Em Up. I don't know if you've
Man,
seen
Shoot
that.
'Em Up's awesome.
Clive Owen.
Yeah.
Just because it has
seen
it's like got a crazy scene where he's on a roundabout. He's just shooting people on a roundabout, and because he's on a roundabout, he's obviously doing a 360. And at one point, he shoots something to change direction on the roundabout, but it's also out of control. Is it Paul Giamatti that's in it as well as the bad guy?
Does he not kill someone with a carrot?
That sounds plausible. Yeah, it's been a while
Have
since
you not seen it,
I've
Sandy? Have you seen it?
No,
Man, it's good.
Yeah.
Like I remember when it came out, and I didn't know much about it, and like the soundtrack's awesome. It's like Nirvana, Motley Crue, and stuff. So it's like rocking soundtrack. And he's like, even bits he's driving down the road, and he's like, "They didn't indicate. It takes 2 seconds to indicate." And then he's not just like kill them or something.
It is, yeah. It's full of proper what the fuck moments.
and,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of one-liners, I think.
Yeah.
And like from what I remember, but
Yeah.
I'll need to rewatch it, man. I really liked. Oh, and what's her name is in it?
Monica Bellucci.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, she is,
okay, I'll watch it.
Also,
Oh, wait a minute. And she has. I think there's a baby in that one, and
Yes,
and
there
she
is
needs
a-
to
she
make the
needs to
baby
express.
survive.
Okay.
Oh, that way. Yes.
the other one I've got on my list is a clunker is Shooter, which again I love because I love every movie in this genre.
Is that Mark?
Shooter's Mark Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
Yeah. He plays a guy who's effectively hired to plan an assassination of the president.
Oh, and he gets set up.
So that they can say, like, you know, how would it be done? But he gets set up because you know he's just planned an assassination. So they're setting him up as a stooge.
Patsy.
There's a TV series of it as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. It's Ryan Phillippe or something.
That's right. Yeah.
What you've made one come to my mind. I'm trying to remember the name of it now. It's like an American version of, you remember the propaganda film from Inglourious Basterds, Stolz their Nation?
Yeah.
There's one, and it's an American sniper. Is it called American Sniper?
American Sniper.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
And
And
it's-
it's Clint Eastwood, and it's
Yeah.
So propaganda.
I know.
It's just insane.
Dude, even that film doesn't even start, and it's just like black screen, and you hear the imam or whatever from like the mosque, but also like evil music, and it's like there's nothing on screen. It's already saying these guys are bad.
Yeah,
and it's just-
yeah.
and it is very sort
It's
of
very
it's
America,
like
it's
yeah,
like,
that's exactly
oh
what
my
it's like.
God.
America, like, we kill and liberate people.
Yeah.
It's like,
And it's
also famous for the fake baby.
Fake baby.
Yeah, American Sniper. Yeah, So they had a child actor because there's a scene where what's his name?
fuck, what? The guy is it Bradley Cooper?
Bradley Cooper, yes.
Bradley Cooper.
There's a scene where he's holding a baby, and they, for whatever reason, there was various, I think, stories about it. The actor, the baby just didn't show up. Right? The baby was having a bad day, and the baby did not turn up.
It was with Monica Bellucci.
Yeah.
That's where I would be as well.
Yep. So they've got this silicon baby, and he's holding it, and then like with his thumb, he's trying to make the arm kind of go up and down. I can't believe like this is new to you. So you should watch this scene now and just pay attention to the silicon baby, because it's ostensibly not like a terrible movie, but that is a really awful scene that you just can't get past. You know, you can't, especially once you've seen it, you can't unsee it as a real clunker.
I just remember watching it thinking, this is just a propaganda film. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all it's serving as the whole purpose of this is just propaganda.
Do you want some honourable mentions then?
Yeah, that's what I was going to move on to. Yeah. I mean, in a sense, I was also going to mention a while back, you talking about a certain actor and things, like you used to be able to say to people, oh, I'm going to see the new Dolph Lundgren movie, and you knew what you were going to get.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to see the new
Jean-Claude Van Damme, yeah.
Yeah, and you knew exactly what it was going to be.
Yeah.
And the same with, Chuck Norris, like, every film of his almost is one-man army, like the Invasion USA in particular, I think is ultra-violent. I used to love that one. The Missing in Action ones, especially the third in the trilogy, Braddock, Missing in Action 3, it's awesome.
I can't remember.
It's pretty hard going at times, actually. Yeah. Quite vicious and cruel. Rambo, I guess.
Rambo, is a stone cold classic. Yeah. Like, such a good movie.
I mean, more so not so much the first. Well, I guess the first.
No, the first one.
No, 100% the first one.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
See,
definitely
for me,
not
like
the new one.
Like Rambo 2, it's just like, he's just like way more extreme, over the top, him killing everybody. Like,
I mean, the first one's a good. It's really about PTSD. It's about trauma that the characters has, and about it explores that much more rather than he's a killing machine, let's set him in motion. Because there's an inciting event which is massively important to his character, and it's important to the plot and stuff. And Brian Dennehy as well. It's great in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember watching that when I was way too young to be watching it, and just thinking, this is brilliant. Yeah. Like, that's probably the first of these movies that I've ever watched.
Well, Rambo 2 is it James Cameron's got a hand in it? There's a few heavy hitters involved in Rambo 2 actually, and 3 is the one in Afghanistan. Is that right? And then the fourth one in Burma is
it's basically a short, isn't it? It's like an hour and 10 minutes long, or like an hour and 5 minutes.
I love it. You seen the fourth one?
I've only got as far as the second.
A guy bayonets a baby and throws it onto a fire, doesn't he? In one scene.
And the fourth one,
he gets awesome, on the 50 cal, he's just cutting people in half.
Isn't there one of them that's had the most kills in a film?
Maybe
in the shortest period, I think, was probably the last one.
Like, he jumps on a jeep which has got like 50 cal machine gun, and like spins it around and just like shoots the drivers, and they just like explode.
They was with 50 calibers, 100%.
It is
See you later.
But I remember like watching it with my girlfriend at the time, and she was like sort of like really sort of about it. And I was like, "Wow, it's just a film." She was like, but she'd done a lot of work over that area, and she was like, "Oh, it's just because it's real." And I was like, "Oh, it's just a movie." Also,
I've got John Wick, but up into the fourth one was just too intense for me. It's relentless. You know what I mean? You need time to catch your breath, and that was just relentless.
Is the fourth one, though, the one where he's got the Dragonfire shotgun, and they've got all the top shots, and he's going room to room? Because I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's still great, and the action sequences are amazing, and the amount of work that they put into it.
Yeah, and the third act is just him falling down steps for the whole act.
Yeah. I don't know what your views are on it. And
well, I worked with the guy, the one you said with the top shot. I worked with the stunt coordinator who did that.
Right.
He's a French stunt coordinator. Very, very, very talented, and they did a lot pre-production on that to get it right. And I think the franchise itself as a whole, from the first to the recent one, I think they're very, very good.
Yeah.
The casting's gone very well on them all as well. I think the actual storylines work well, because I think you get some of these franchises, and you get to 2 or 3 and you think, fuck, it's the same shit, different day.
Yeah.
But the storylines are very different, and they broaden them out. And then they did the spin-off, didn't they, with Mel Gibson in it?
The TV show, that was
TV
awesome.
show. How good was that? That it was really, really good.
Yeah,
worth watching.
I'd
definitely
watch it again.
Yeah.
The soundtrack and stuff is really good for the TV
What was it
show.
called again?
Hotel Continental.
Yeah, but Mel Gibson's character in that, he nails it.
Yeah.
And once again, they've nailed the characters they locked in as well to play the roles.
Yeah.
And there's. I won't say what it is because you haven't seen it, but there's 2 characters in there, and you just think, fucking hell, side by side, male and the female character. You know the ones I mean?
I think so.
And they just fuck people up.
Mm-hmm.
They just fuck people up.
They're brilliant.
They're badasses.
Yeah. They remind me of something out of Leon. Kind of.
Yeah, it's a mixture of Kill Bill and Leon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with a bit of Matrix in the middle of it.
Yeah, totally. No, I'd watch it again, definitely. Extraction as well. I'd say another. Were they mentioned?
The director of that is an ex-stunt coordinator.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
And they did the one shot on that on the first one.
Yeah.
And if you can find it on YouTube, I think where he's in the car with a camera, and then he pops out of the car with a camera. And it's just done as a one shot, and the way they work that sequence on that is just.
It's phenomenal.
Props to them. It's there's a lot of hard work goes into that, and that if you have you seen Extraction?
No.
Yes, I highly recommend it, because I think it came out during the lockdown, and it was the most viewed on Netflix at the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
But the sequences in it that they set up, I would love to work something like that. It's just fucking immense.
Same with the second one. There was some unbelievable,
like that train scene. Yeah, it's like a one take thing.
I've seen that.
Right.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. But I think that was in the. I'm not sure if that was the same one, like going in and out the car and stuff. It's just
that's part of the same sequence. But
yeah, you can get it on YouTube for the behind the scenes stuff. But like I said, the director himself, he used to be a stunt coordinator. It's the same as Bullet Train.
Oh yeah,
just going off track a little bit. Bullet Train.
Bullet Train's great. Yeah.
Stunt coordinator as well.
Right.
So it's
cool. That means the fight scenes in Bullet Train are spectacular. Like
really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, I had Mad Max. We mentioned Mel Gibson there. I had Mad Max as an honourable mention.
Yeah.
Nobody. You brought that up.
Nobody. That's just a random dude in a random road.
Yeah.
Who's got a random fucking background.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
really good. I like, and rewatching it as well. I like the way I think they have this home invasion kind of early on in the film, and then. And he doesn't do anything, and his son just thinks he's a pussy. It's good. And it's just really, what it's building up to, because I think the first shot in the movie is him in the police interrogation room, just looking really badass, like he's just been fighting people and he's smoking a cigarette and stuff. So you kind of know it's sitting there. What else have we got? I've got
Desperado as a one-man army.
I never thought of that.
Because I love Rodriguez movies, and that's just one dude killing everybody.
Yep.
Are we giving homage, did you say, at the moment? We like giving props to good ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to suggest one, but I don't know whether that is my final number one.
Don't go for your number one yet.
Yeah,
honourable mentions just now.
Man on Fire.
Man
on Fire.
Yeah,
that was Denzel Washington.
Nice,
yeah, Man on Fire. That's
I love that movie.
That's deep.
Yeah,
it's deep. Mm-hmm. And it's I think right at the end when you got that music playing, he's in the car.
Yeah.
And it's all sort of zooming past. The way they did the cinematography.
Tony Scott again, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The way they did the cinematography for that was just immense.
Yeah.
The whole thing, the whole setup. It was the storyline was really good as well, and it just shows you that one person can come out of one section in their life, all madness.
Yeah.
Come along, protect someone else who needs the support, and then he just flushes off to somewhere else. I like it. I like Man on Fire is probably one of my favourite Denzel Washington films.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see how he portrays himself in Gladiators too.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Remo, Unarmed and Dangerous. I knew you'd know that.
Oh my god,
that's got to be down as an honourable mention. Fred Ward. Have you seen Tremors?
Yeah.
You know who Fred Ward is, right?
No.
So the main two dudes, there's Kevin Bacon, there's Fred Ward.
Right, the other guy.
Yeah. Okay. He only died about a year ago or something, didn't he?
So it's basically he's this. What even is he?
So
he can run across wet concrete, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Did we not? I think we stuck a trailer on for this when we were in New York, because it's a New York film. And the end of the film is the climax of the film is on the Statue of Liberty.
That's right, yeah.
But yeah, so he gets trained to dodge bullets and just do all this crazy shit. And it's
by this sort of Asian kung fu master who I'm pretty sure is not Asian and like got makeup to look Asian.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. It's such a crazy film, but it's got a lot of charm. It's like a 70s film, but it's obviously of that ilk, like the A-Team and the Fall Guy and stuff like that, where it's over the top and it's crazy action and stuff. But yeah, I can see gestures going on.
Yeah, we're not sure if we're getting the
crackling, but
crackling, right? I thought you meant it was drumming.
Can I drop one in the mix? It might not be Spartacus.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's
maybe one of the first.
Yes, I'd say maybe one of the first.
Yeah,
certainly in the chronological timeline of like real life, taking place as it did thousands of years ago.
Good spin-off TV show as well.
Yeah,
well, I liked that on Stars. It was a kind of shot in a cheesy way.
Cool.
With John Hannah and stuff. No?
Yeah. Well, should we move on to
number one?
Well, our 3 top spots because we know yours.
Yep, Kill Bill.
Funnily enough, though, I was convinced my number one was going to be this. I thought your number one was going to be what mine is.
Okay.
And it is Commando.
I knew
that.
It's all over Dick Dynamite. Isn't
It's
it?
the ultimate.
Yeah, we didn't mention Dick Dynamite in the one-man army, but yeah, we sort of pledged not to keep talking about our own films.
We did, but.
I mean, shall I talk about it, or we already
Commando?
done that?
Yeah, tell us what's Commando about?
who stars in that?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, do you remember? Off topic slightly. Noel's house party, and he went to this family's house, right, just to rip the piss out of the little girl. And you know how he would like rip the piss out of people and then look at the camera. What camera's on?
Noel Edmonds.
Yeah. And this young chick, she was about like 9 years old or something. He was like, "Yes, so who's your favourite TV star?" And she was like, "Arnold Sniffernever." And like then he'd be like laughing. And it just stuck with my memory. Like, and she kept on saying Arnold Sniffernever, like she couldn't say it right. And then it was quite bad that Noel Edmonds was taking the mickey out of her, wasn't it?
Are we just piling on Noel Edmonds?
I think karma hit him with Mr. Blobby, didn't it? Really?
Yeah. So anyway, Commando. He's a former Marine. His daughter gets kidnapped, and he goes and kills everyone to get her back. And it's got.
Why did she get kidnapped?
Because they wanted John Matrix to.
It's because of him. It's not.
They
it's
wanted
not like
him to do the
it's not just a
assassination
random
because he
snatch.
Because he's the baddest guy on earth. They wanted him to do the assassination.
So they thought, let's fuck with the baddest guy on earth and see what happens.
But there's this whole fan subplot theory that because his whole platoon gets killed at the beginning, including Bennett, who turns out he faked to death because he's behind it as well. But there's this whole subplot apparently that Bennett and Matrix are lovers or former lovers.
Okay.
But next time you watch it, bear in mind there's like like how sort of camp he is and the Freddie Mercury moustache
there's
and the chainmail.
There's definitely chemistry between them. 100%. Yeah. There's tension there.
You want to stick it in me? Stick it in me, John.
I'll be ready, John. That's John. I'll be ready, John.
It was certain death when we went and played in London. And that whole weekend, we just said John at the end of everything we said. But the guy who we were staying with was called John, and any time was like, "You want a coffee, John?" He's like, "No, I'm all right, lads." And it was like, and we're like, "Oh shit, we didn't meet it, John. We're referencing Commando." Oh dear. Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, for me, that's the quintessential one-man army TV movie.
It's also the quintessential, like fire 1 million bullets at one person and he's not going to get hit.
Yeah.
Yet he like just is doing this and people are just falling out of windows.
I mean, you've got other stuff like that with like Red Scorpion with Dolph Lundgren and obviously Rambo. But for me, Commando like trumps them all.
It's
massively.
the first film that jumped into my head when you said about this top 3.
It's very rewatchable as well.
Yeah, and quotable.
Aye.
John. Cool. Right.
Okay. So my top on the list is Dead Man's Shoes.
Superb. Yeah.
Dead Man's Shoes, and it's an independent feature film.
Yeah.
It was written by the lead actor. along with the director. And the storyline itself, if no one's actually seen it, the storyline itself, he has a brother, but there's a twist to it.
Mm-hmm.
We spoiled it.
We talked about it on our previous show.
Oh shit! Right, okay.
And
well, I can just divulge it then.
Yeah, we spoiled the twist.
Yeah, it's. I really like it because it shows that independent films can be up there with the big films, and obviously the lead actor in it.
Yeah, Paddy Considine, his performances.
He's just such a good actor. It's unreal.
Yeah.
And obviously the director, he did This Is England as well.
Yeah.
And I like that independent gritty stuff, real life. Yeah. It's Commando's Happy Days. You can watch that with popcorn and stuff like that. But stuff that I think this film is, it's just there. It just hits you in the heart. Yeah. And the way he gets revenge is, in some of the ways he gets revenge, it's just fucked.
Yeah, it's more horrifying just because it feels so real. And the scene where they find. I think they open the toilet door and there's just blood all over the toilet and stuff. Yeah. It is chilling.
Every time I rewatch it, I'm in a decent mood, and then I watch it and I'm like, why did I do that to myself? You know what I mean? Because it stays with you.
I went through a period of when we were coming back to the flat drunk, I would stick the movie on with other people that had never seen it and didn't know anything about it. Yeah. And I would just and you're talking 1 a.m. or something, and I'd be like, oh, you should check this out. And I would just... I don't know. It's just such a fucked thing to do because it's such a dark movie and it's such a but it was almost as an exercise of it'll just absolutely grab you from the first frame because you have that the opening scene's brilliant and the music's fantastic and everything and the setting is you get completely drawn in because it's such a sort of rural setting. There's obviously some really compelling performances and stuff, but immediately that there's a huge amount of story here, and you just want to find out what the story is, and it's just very slowly starts to unravel. So, without exception, every time I stuck this on to some unsuspecting mate of mine who was just kind of drunk and sitting on the couch, we would always watch it right to the end.
Yeah, it's a favourite of Scotties. Scotties love it. Servicemen love it, as well as. The Neil Marshall film, Dog Soldiers. Yeah. Those two are the most talked about films within the sort of military aspects. People watch them over and over again. Yeah. But I prefer that. Dog Soldiers is good. Yeah. And it's catchy and I like it, but I prefer Dead Man's Shoes. Yeah. Because it's more real to life. Mm-hmm. And then the catch on it in the end when you realise his brother wasn't even fucking there the whole time and it's all in his head. And he just went on a killing spree, basically, just to get revenge on what they did to his brother. And it's just, I like it. And the director himself, Mr. Meadows, it's just, like I said, he did
24/7, which was also on my list of favourite kind of low budget indie movies. And This Is England's great.
But is he doing anything at the moment? I've not heard of him doing anything recently.
The last thing I was aware of that he did was he did the Stone Roses documentary. But I don't know what he did after that.
Yeah, but it'd be good for him to come back with something because everything. I think everything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah,
he's a really
good
director.
James Corden in his main character and getting
24/7
dissected, dismembered. Because we discovered when we talked about the Shane Meadows one 24/7.
Yeah.
He picked it as one of his favourite film top 3. I can't remember the category. Yeah. And we noticed it was James Corden that was in it. He's like, no, it's not. It fucking is.
Yeah, it definitely was.
And then that sort of spurred on a joke how many ways can you kill James Corden in a movie?
How many podcasts can you mention James Corden? So far it's 4 in a row.
He's not going to sponsor us at this rate.
Should get him on the show. James Corden, come on down. Yeah. Cool, we better watch your time. So, what's your number one spot?
Number one is Old Boy.
Nice.
The OG Old Boy.
I rewatched that recently.
Not the American remake, which I've not seen, but I assume is not as good.
I've seen it. No, it's not. No. Spike Lee, but
is it?
It's not as good.
Yeah,
it goes without saying it's not as good.
For me, it's the action cinematography again.
Very good.
Just one shot in particular that always stands in my mind, and it's the hallway, and it's just so realistic. In a lot of films when it's 20 people versus one guy, they all just come at you at once. But in this one, he has to fight his way through them individually to get to the next guy because they're in a narrow hallway. That's an unreal scene.
Yeah,
and the twist will completely mess your head. I'm not going to spoil it for once.
Oh, it's it's pretty grim.
It's as dark as it comes.
It's very grim.
And he eats a live octopus.
Yeah, well, they ate 7 or something
for real.
Yeah.
Sorry, that take wasn't good enough.
Yes,
you can see it trying to hold onto his face as he's trying to swallow it.
And just think, one of those tentacles is his dick. So if there was 7, that's 7 octopus dick on his face.
That's
not how octopuses
some
work.
award or something where they...
Is it not? Someone told me that out of the 8 fucking tentacles, 1 is its dick.
How old were you when this was?
Not that long ago.
They have 7 hearts.
Right, come on, Gary. Google it.
Yeah.
They have 7 hearts.
Yeah.
Come on, that's less believable than having
and they have a
one
beak as well.
7 hearts, 7 legs, and 1 dick. It's pretty fucked.
Make for an awesome horror movie.
I'm probably wrong about that.
But back to Old Boy.
Yeah.
It's
an excellent film. I remember the first time I watched it thinking, this is the protagonist, because the opening scene, he's just harassing some girl in the police station, and he's drunk, and he just looks like hopeless, and then he just becomes a total badass. Like you don't see it coming, but that hallway scene is incredible, and the first scene when he gets out as well, and he's like, it's time to find out if all these years of theory can be put into practice. And then he has a fight, and he's like, apparently they can.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's weird because I've never noticed that actor in anything else. But you'd have thought how good that film was. Those people would all be coming across to the mainstream. I mean, I get South Korea's got its own film.
I was going to say, is it Korean?
And it's big, and especially recently, there's been a lot of big films coming out of Korea. But that performance is
well, Parasite, which is his as well.
I've still not seen Parasite. Is it?
It's good. Yeah, it's really
good. Right. We've got a picture of an octopus.
Yep.
Or is it octopi?
Brain, siphon, 2 hearts. So
2 hearts.
But how many dicks?
Yeah.
It's not.
Do those 2 hearts substitute for his testicles?
Nah. Suckers. Each arm contains hundreds of suckers that can latch onto objects. Suckers can taste and feel.
Have they got a beak as well? Did someone say that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, are you assuming that all octopi have dick tentacles, or just the males?
Just, I mean, it's 2024.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not reading anything about it. I'll pass that on to you.
Right. As well as James Corden coming on the show, we're going to have an octopus
expert.
And then we'll feature films about like the octopus, was it Doctor or something, Whisperer.
They've got 19 hearts.
Spider-Man. And what was that?
This is.
I'm just thinking of more films about octopuses. Yeah, stay tuned for our next show that's all about octopuses or octopi. We need an expert to come on and tell us.
Have you seen The Boys?
Yes.
Obviously you've seen The Boys, but
have
you seen what he does with an octopus?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
These
call
octopus clips are going to make for a good little advert for this.
The guy
little
calls
trailer.
it the 8-legged handjob machine.
Fucking Boys, that is just...
That's so good.
Is it Tilda Swinton that is voicing that octopus as well?
Is it?
I'm sure it is.
That's put me right off octopuses. She scares the shit out of me.
I'm positive it's her voice. I might be wrong, but just every time I hear it,
now that
you
say it does. Yeah, it does sound like Tilda Swinton. Yeah. Could you find that out really quickly, Gary? I'm sorry.
I think we've got his phone looking at octopus sticks.
Yeah, The Boys is amazing. Yeah, I really thought they'd fucked it in this season in the first 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then they really just brought it back, and it was quite self-aware because I thought they went too woke and it was going to ruin it. And then there was an episode where they kind of addressed the wokeness.
Oh, they did 100%. They addressed it. Yeah.
And yes, so good. I watched that series back to back. Watched it through and then watched it through again.
Really?
So good, so good. Have you watched it?
Yeah, the latest series.
Yeah.
It goes to some dark places.
Oh yeah, the one with Homelander just turns that room to a bloody mess.
It's the guy, I can't remember his name, but the guy that can make copies of himself.
The one he just keeps
human centipedes himself.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, folks, enough about octopus dicks and human centipeding yourself. We hope you've enjoyed the Square Go Movie Podcast, and thanks to Spence.
Thank you very much for having me again. It's appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, once again, and smash the button on your keyboard and subscribe. And if we have a Patreon up and running by that time, give us some money so we can
pay people's train fares and buy cables.
Yeah, because
very much.
And thanks to Gary for being our graphics guy. And hope to see you next time, and hope you enjoyed the show. Cheers.
Whoa!